Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this emergency live broadcast. So the Epstein list was supposed to be dropped today. We heard that it was supposed to be dropped the very first day that Kash Patel takes director of the FBI. Well, he's been in there for a week. And then last night, Pam Bondi goes on Fox News and says, breaking news, tomorrow on February 27, 2025, I am going to release the Epstein files to the world to review. We're going to drop everything and you guys are going to know the truth. Well, earlier today, early in the morning, Pam Bondi and Kash Patel invited a very select few people from Twitter X who are very big and prominent conservative content creators or influencers as we are called. And they got a binder. And on that binder, it said Epstein Files Part 1. And then they stood there in front of the White House, did a photo shoot like it's funny. And they went home with them. We're going to go through a few stuff and some reactions, ladies and gentlemen. But I actually reached out to one of those people because I personally know them. And that person told me, quote, this is confusing. This binder gives us nothing. And one of the names that's in that binder that Pam Bondi gave them is Donald Trump with no context. So it's, Ghislaine Maxwell, Donald Trump, redacted, James Michael, I'm going to go through the list. But it's weird. Trump's name's in there, and then Maxine and all these other people are there, and then some names are redacted. And I'm going to read the list to you. I'm going to play you guys some footage of some stuff and people reacting. But do me a huge favor before we continue. Smash that thumbs up button. Make sure that you are subscribed with bell notifications on. Leave me a comment. Where are you watching me from? And before we continue, ladies and gentlemen, very recently, I got this sponsor. I don't work with a lot of sponsors. I have my gold sponsor, Michael and Dell, but these people reached out and they're like, try our product first. They sent me some of this. It is CV Evo oil. It is organic extra virgin olive oil with ESS60. I started taking this about 3 weeks ago, just a spoonful in the morning. And ladies and gentlemen, my life has changed. I feel great. I sleep better. I have more natural energy. On top of that, my bones feel better because you guys always see me cracking my neck. My neck feels better. This stuff truly is a miracle working, olive oil extract. I just take a spoonful in the morning with breakfast and I feel great all day. You can get up to 25% off your next order when you go to their website, www.c60evo.com/VTpolitics. Links are down below in the description. Up to 25% off. I already got my parents this stuff, my father-in-law this stuff. It's amazing. It changed my life. I highly recommend it. Go check it out. Now, we're going to jump into my Twitter. So Glenn Beck posted this video. Listen to what he said. This is his reaction. He says, reacting to the so-called Epstein files release, this feels like internal civil war. President Trump needs to fly to SNDY now and get to the bottom of this.
Maybe talk to you. Why don't you come over here, Jason? Hey, we are, I'm still at the studio, and I've just been gathering the information on the so-called Epstein client release. And I just talked to Liz Wheeler, and I was just watching her podcast because she has some additional information. But we've gone through the list, and Jason is here, our chief researcher. Jason, what was in this big briefing that was given by the president and everybody else today?
So we went through the entire 20+ page dump that was released through the, I guess the DOJ or the FBI. It's on the website now. It's public information. And it is the biggest disappointment I think that you'll find. I encourage you to do your own homework on this. It's mostly procedural jargon, Glenn, heavily redacted. Basically no new information, little bitty tidbits, but again, it's inconsequential. It's just procedural stuff. It's bad.
So they were talking, this was going to be release that everybody has been waiting for. Apparently, with the president, vice president, Pam Bondi, and Kash Patel in the room, Liz Wheeler and others were told this morning, given this binder, which has absolutely nothing in it, and they were told that by Pam Bondi and the president that she had, because the president asked, ordered for the release of this. Kash Patel delivered it to her desk last week. They were going through it. They expected this to be full of everything that Kash Patel has told me he has seen in the past, but there was nothing. There was nothing left in it. And Liz reports that she was told that the feeling from Pam Bondi and others is that the Southern District of New York, the FBI in the Southern District of New York, actually has the tapes and everything else and will not turn it over to the White House or to Pam.
So did you hear that? There's two things to take away from this, and I'm going to read you the list of the person. They took screenshots and sent me the list of the names that are there without any context. What Kash Patel, when he was in the Department of Defense, what he saw and what Pam Bondi has are two different things. And number two, the New York FBI, the FBI and Police Department of New York are holding and hiding information from Trump and his office. So I got three lists of names. Ghislaine Maxwell, Virginia Lee Roberts, who's an Epstein victim, Prince Andrew of England, James Michael Ostrich, Philip Barden, then name number 6, redacted, Kate Blanchett, David Boyes, Laura Booth, Evelyn Bolett, Rebecca Boylan, Joshua Bonner, Naomi Campbell, Caroline Cassie, Paul Cassell, Sharon Churcher, Bill Clinton, David Copperfield, Alexandra Costilla, Cameron Diaz, Leonardo DiCaprio, Alan Dershowitz, Dr. Moana Devanson. Then it goes Brittany Henderson, Brett Jaffe, Michael Jackson, Carol Roberts Kess, Dr. Karen Kudikoff, Peter Listerman, George Lucas, Tony Lyons, Bob Maister, Jamie A. Melanson, Lynn Miller, Marvin Minsky, name number 59 is redacted, David Mullen, Joe Pagano, Mary Paluga, Stanley Pottinger, Joseph Ricari, Michael Ritter, Jason Richards, Bill Richardson, Sky Roberts, Scar Rothstein, then Forrest Sire, Doug Chotel, Kevin Spacey, Cecilia Stein, Mark Tafoya, Brent Tyndall, Kevin Thompson, Donald Trump, Ed Tuttle, Emma Vag, Kimberly Edwards, Crescenda Valdez, Anthony Valadares, Maritza Vasquez, Vicky Ward, Jared Westfield, Courtney Wild, Bruce Willis, Daniel Wilson, Kathy Alexander, Miles Alexander. That's what we got. That's all the names that were in this first binder. There is a bunch of redacted stuff. There's no context to these names. Nothing. Right? We just get Maxine Waters, Donald Trump. It's like, can we get context? What's happening? But here we go to continue. Listen to Alina Luna.
I initially thought we would because I had faith that Cash would give us whatever documents that he had. Now we're finding out per that whistleblower, and I'm actually talking to the whistleblower in about 10 minutes here directly to figure out if we can get leads on who those names are. Now we're finding out that potentially there was destruction of evidence. But as you saw over the weekend, Pam Bondi, our attorney general, she actually said that she was reviewing documents and that they were on her desk. And so we've been largely pushing for the declassification of these documents. We haven't even seen them, Charlie. But that information, as well as the other information like JFK, RFK, that belongs to the American people. That should not be siloed any longer. It's been years. And specifically with Jeffrey Epstein, I mean, look, this goes back into the whole conversation of, do you think Jeffrey Epstein killed himself? I don't think he did. That's pretty wild. If you look at the people that he was involved with and the prison that he was in, that could have happened. And so, I think that there's a lot of powers at play here. Obviously, we did not anticipate that these people would be doing it so out in the open, but apparently they're destroying evidence. And so this is a big deal. I think that the American people need to understand the gravity of what this means and also understand that within our own agencies, our trusted agencies that are supposed to be there to defend and protect us, that they're actively fighting against what President Trump wants for this country and transparency for the American people. So take note of who's trying to undermine.
I hope everyone understands there is a rogue government right now that's operating. That there is a shadow government that is defying the will of the people, and they are operating in direct defiance. It is a shadow government.
That's right. Also, listen to this.
The New York Post is reporting that the only thing that was put in there was apparently a phone list. Well, that's not what we were promised. And there's more because there's a letter from Pam Bondi, but I want to get my next guest in here, Steve Gray, retired FBI agent, because there's plenty to go through. Steve, thank you for taking the time here. Let me just say this. I want to read a little bit from Pam Bondi's letter that just dropped, here a little bit earlier today. Basically, she's saying that the FBI has stonewalled her, that what she asked for was not delivered. So she sent Patel, by the way. And I believe they're friends, but here's the deal. By 8 a.m. tomorrow, February the 28th, the FBI will deliver the full and complete Epstein files to my office, including all records, documents, audio and video recordings, and materials related to Jeffrey Epstein and his clients, regardless of how such information was obtained. There will be no withholdings or limitations to my or your access. And she also went further in the letter and said this: I'm directing you to conduct an immediate investigation into why my order to the FBI was not followed. You will deliver to me a comprehensive report of your findings and proposed personnel action within 14 days. I think Pam Bondi is a little pissed off, Steve, as am I, frankly. We were told this binder was coming out. You were told the same thing. What's your take?
Yeah, and I agree. And she has a right to be extremely upset, because not only does it make the Trump administration look bad, it also makes the Justice Department look bad. The problem is that New York handled this investigation, and an office I worked at for 23 years. I'm very familiar with the people within that office. I'm very familiar with the people that conducted the investigation in that office of the Epstein case, and also the search of all of the computer files. I can tell you this, at the time that was all going on, the chatter in the office, at the New York office, was at the highest it had ever been. Usually when there's a big case, there's a lot of chatter. This was the most chatter I'd ever heard of coming out of any case, which means that there's a lot of evidence out there, and that evidence needs to be brought forward. The problem is that the director of the FBI in New York is James Dennehy. And I talked about this last night on Grant's show, that there's a lot of Comey soldiers out there. These are individuals that are protecting James Comey. They're protecting their own selves. And unfortunately, James Dennehy, the assistant director of the New York office, is a Comey soldier. And he's going to protect Comey, he's going to protect Ray, and he's going to protect himself. My belief, and this is only my belief, I believe that they're trying to dump as much evidence as they can before they bring it forward to protect a lot of individuals.
Here's what I realized today. We got Donald Trump back in the White House, but we didn't get the swamp out of our government. We got Donald Trump and the Republicans in charge of White House, Senate, and Congress, but the deep state still runs the FBI, the CIA, the DOJ, right? See, we always talk about cutting off the head of the snake, but what if the snake is so advanced that the body can go and do evil things on its own, even if you replace or cut the head off? I believe that the body of the FBI, the DOJ, and of our federal government and the CIA, it's so evil and it's fine-tuned to work even if it doesn't have a head on. You can cut the head off or put a good head on it, meaning a good president in the White House. It is so rotten to the core. It's still going to do evil. It is still going to go against the will of we, the people. It is still going to go against what we, the people of the United States, voted for. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. The deep state and the swamp is deeper than I thought. It is more evil than I could have ever predicted. But we're going to see what happens. And I want to respond to this. Maybe they're being smoked out by Kash Patel. Let's wait and see. We've waited and we watched. Let's say something. For the last 3 years, we watched Kash Patel go on interviews, go on podcasts, and go on all these talk shows and tell us that when he was director of, worked in the Department of Defense, he saw the black book and he knows everything. He told us, I know everything. I saw the entire Epstein files. I saw the black book. I read everything myself. And then he said, if Trump wins and makes me the director of the FBI, on day one, I will publish everything. It's day number 7. What's going on? I don't know. But listen to this. Here's another example. Do you guys remember? It seems like a while ago, but we just had 4 years of Democrats and Biden administration. And if they ever made a promise, and for instance, if they would say, by next Wednesday, we're going to do this. And if they were 1 day or 1 hour or 1 minute or 1 second late on fulfilling their promises, what did we say? We called them liars. We called them hypocrites. Myself, I would come on here and say, see, there go the Democrats, making a bunch of promises just to get elected, but then breaking their promise. Are we not supposed to hold Donald Trump and his administration to the same, if not even a higher level? I think we are. I think we're supposed to. And I think that, in Trump's first term, his 2 biggest mistakes were this: Mike Pence as vice president and Mike Pompeo as director of the CIA. Those were his 2 biggest mistakes. Donald Trump's 2 biggest mistakes of his first presidency was Mike Pence and Mike Pompeo. I just really hope and pray. Yes, last night when Pam Bondi went on to Fox News and gave us the breaking news that we've been waiting for 9 years, she said, we're going to get names and flight logs. We got names with no context, no Bill Clintons, and we got no flight logs. So, and this, you make a great point. But today, Pam Bondi is saying she doesn't have everything. She didn't see everything. So why would she go on Fox last night to promise us the flight logs and the names, just so that today she tells us, oh, I didn't get to see everything? ladies and gentlemen, we are fighting against a very, very corrupt government. And the corruption is deeper than we could ever imagine. But I'm going to be on top of the story. I'm going to, stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed, ladies and gentlemen. I will keep you on top of the story. So, yeah, before we wrap up, again, ladies and gentlemen, just pray so that the truth prevails, comes out, and we all, we get to see the truth and find out the real names and the real flight logs. And before we wrap this up, just one more time, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot tell you enough how much I love. Boom, there we go. How much I love this stuff ever since I started taking this. This is a organic extra virgin olive oil with ESS60 extract. This stuff is amazing. I got this for my parents. I got this for my father-in-law. They're feeling great. Even in their age, they're saying they're feeling great. Nothing but great feedback. I'm telling you, this stuff is amazing. Links are down below. They have stuff for your pets. Really quickly, if you love your pets, they have over 40 years of research where they would take cats and dogs and rats, and they would have a batch that get this with their food and a batch that doesn't. Well, the pet version of this, the ones that got this lived 90% longer, and all of them died without tumors. No tumors, no cancer, nothing. So your pet lives longer, healthier, and, longer, healthier, and better. So they have this for you, for adults, for humans, for pets. It's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to be on top of this story. I'll let you know as soon as anything happens. So make sure you have bell notifications on. God bless you. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.